I thought we got rid of this slide, so I'm a little lost right now. But bear with me. I'm going to get there. Why people don't do stuff. I think this is a fair thing to ask ourselves because a lot of us don't. You know, we look at problems or challenges and we don't do it. We don't act on them. And I think for two reasons. I think one, because we look at a lot of challenges and we think they're big, huge things that we can't deal with. And two, I think that if we try, or if we want to try, we'd be scared to fail. So we see these problems as these giant, big circle problems. You know, they're huge, we can't deal with them, so let's not try. Take hunger. Hunger is a big circle problem. But what if instead of thinking of hunger or poverty or any of these things as huge problems, what if we thought of them as tiny little problems, thousands of them that we could deal with? What if we just decided to move things in the right direction? What if we made them small circle problems? Take farm to fork. Farm to fork is an idea that came of answering the question, how can we improve the quality and the quantity of food in the emergency food system in Guelph? It's simple, it's small, it's local, and it's one solution to one tiny problem.
But farm to fork didn't just happen. The first thing we had to do is we had to identify the problem. And as Danny said, hunger is a big circle problem. What we had to do was figure out what the real problem was. And it turns out food security in Guelph has nothing to do with hunger, it has to do with communication. Communication is a small circle problem, something we can deal with. How did we figure that out? Well, we had to ask a lot of questions. And it's really important to remember that it doesn't matter what you ask or who you ask. You just have to remember that if you don't know something, you should ask someone about it. And so what we did is we had to consult local experts in town. We had to talk to the local food security experts who knew something about the problem. We focused on them to get to the root of the problem. Working with the right people will take you to where you need to be. If we hadn't have done that, the farm to fork problem, the farm to fork solution, I should say, wouldn't have, it would have been an academic adventure. It wouldn't have actually been a solution to a situation. So talking to all these people, it's important, but you know, if you have the people and you've got the problem, you've got the people that want to work on the problem, the issue becomes one of acting. And if you don't act, all you have are ingredients. You've got the people and the problem. But once you act, then you actually realize the potential in those ideas. So that's what we had to do. Of course, when you're doing all of this stuff, things are going to happen, and you have to make sure that you track your course and figure out where you are, because you can't get anywhere if you don't know where you've been and you don't know where you're going. So in order to do that, you have to record stuff about what you're doing. You have to take measurements and have to know what's going on around you. If you don't do that, you're going to get lost. You're going to have no idea where you are and how you're going to get to where you need to be. Now, the important thing about all of this is that you have to do this a lot, because if you don't consider where you are in reference to where you were and where you want to go, you're going to easily get yourself confused and lost, like I did earlier during this presentation. So, when this happens, you just got to keep pushing forward. Mistakes happen, and you learn from them. So this is what we did. We took a problem, we collected experts, we started acting on it, and we started setting out a path forward so that we could try to get to a point where we could come up with a solution.
So I think it's really important to say that Farm to Fork has gone better than we ever could have hoped, but we were lucky. I want to repeat that, we're extremely lucky. So here are a few things to consider if you want to, and we advise you do, try and tackle a problem. At the center of whatever you want to do, make it about helping people. Think thoughtfully about it and stick to it even when it sucks, because sometimes it'll suck even if you're doing something great. Find the right people, work with them, trust them. Find someone who shares your passion and work with them, and then trust them to help you. Or trust them to wait for a sec while the slides change. Don't be afraid to look like an idiot. So much of this project involved guesswork, leaps of faith, or doing things we didn't know how to do. That will inevitably happen in whatever you try and tackle, but go with it. You'll either learn about it on the way or you'll find people to help, and that's okay, and it's actually kind of awesome. What we want to leave you with, if we leave you with anything, is that you have the power to do something for someone, even if it's in a small way. The only thing standing in the way is you, so get your ass out there and do something, and that's how you save the universe. Whew.